Hello, my name is Corey Strohobi-wan. I'm in the Gunstock Checkering Lab with instructor Christian Shaw, and right now we're going to go over a handful of things in checkering. The basic thing you need to know first and foremost is what you need to get started. So SDI provides these wonderful little checkering tools by W.E. Brownells. They're great little starters. I went out and spent a little extra money and got the Camp Perry set by Gunline. Gives me several more options, different handles, the veneer itself, to go that route. The other thing you want to look at is getting an actual checkering gauge. That'll help you determine if you're going to go 3.5 or 3 for your spacing. Another thing you really need to have is pocket knife. You use pocket knife. The X-Acto for me is easier to cut the initial pattern and then go over it deeper with pocket knife. The best thing you want to do, in my opinion, is either buy or make a cradle. I made my cradle here, and we'll go over that a little bit more so later. Another wonderful thing to have is a set of magnifying glasses. That way you can look over your item and get real nice and close to it without sitting there straining your eyes. I wear glasses, so a little more magnification is a phenomenal thing. You're going to need a ruler. You're going to need some tape. Grease pencils are amazing to have. You can wipe it off once you're done making all your marks. I need a toothbrush of some sort. Brush off the teeth of the checkering tool and the checkering marks itself. The provided stencils, decals, I went ahead and I cut them out and taped them down. When I was taping them down, I made this wet so it would be nice and conformed to the stock itself. Ran all the tape down. It gives me an easy to go with pattern to take my X-Acto knife and cut my initial marks. And once all the borders are cut out, I then take my straight edge and cut my master lines. That's what I did here. I had these all taped down, started cutting it all out. Another thing you're going to want to have when you get further on in the process for yourself, outside of having these decals, is graphing paper. Because once you've established your artistic ability, which I have not, you can start running graphing paper and drawing all your stencilings to transpose over your stock for checking. So after you take your wet rag, you make your own decal. In checkering, there's decals out there. I decided to make my own, so I'm not fighting this monster. I don't have that much artistic ability, so sitting here, drawing it all out, making it work, drawing lines, trying to find everything correctly, not my forte. So I taped down the pistol grip, taped down the foregrip, taped down the other side. Hey! I think that turned out pretty well. Now, time to take our time, pay attention to what we're doing. Start cutting this bad boy out. So this is an extremely daunting task. My spacing's off, even with using the double cutter, the triple cutter. So I'm going back to a single cutter and I'm going to take my time, slow way down. Because when you don't slow down, you get this. When you jump ahead of yourself, you get this. I'm glad this is an old 22 stock that is just collecting dust in my shop, my garage. It won't be going on in your rifle anytime soon unless I sand it down completely and make it a little bitty stock for the kiddos. But this right here is what happens when you don't slow down. This is slowing down. So a couple of different tools you'll use. The single cutter, the double cutter. The Camp Perry set even has a triple cutter that comes with it. I found that it is dangerous to use that if you're not proficient at it. I really marred this all up. After spending about an hour cutting it up to my best ability, this one's not going to go very well. So I've come over here and I've taken my time. I'm staying away from the triple cutter. I want to make that a tool to work toward in progress. But with the double cutter, if I slow down as normal, as with all projects, take your time, it becomes a very useful tool. But using the single cutter has made it quite nice. The only thing I have an issue with is my spacing, which with time will continue to grow. We get better, so on and so forth. Making these small cuts is very difficult. So time is always what you gotta worry about. See, you make all your initial cuts, and then you move on to the second set of lines. So your master lines are going to run from the inside This is your master line right here. Then your other master line is going to be a little shorter. It runs on that inside line all the way across. Once you make all the checkering patterns, you'll come back through and you'll go to the depth that you want. The biggest thing you're going to want to do is get in that light and you'll rock back and forth in that light, and you'll see if one line sticks out more than the other, you know it's going to be very deep. It's too deep on that cell line, so you need to go back through and recut all those lines. Give me a few minutes, we'll get this cut on this direction. Everything goes parallel with your master lines. Nice thing about the cradle is you can move your piece as you go. What you want to look out for is those gouging marks. What happens, I have to come across here and it'll just pop out a little bit. Then we'll spend some time on repairing checkering. Try not to bust that board, but whenever we cut the actual border, it'll get rid of a lot of those marks. I think for me the hardest part is these little areas. Cutting these, making sure you get them all nice and perfect, but it's going to be very difficult. It is difficult. It's not going to be, it is very difficult. Because you're running next to your master line. Make sure that it is very well exposed. Cleaning the teeth out makes it a little bit easier. Patience makes it even more easier. That's the first of all the cuts that need to be done, so spend a little time deepen them. See how well my pointy diamonds come out of this. We'll come back to that in a minute. So I've been cutting these deeper and deeper since they're all now put in place. The lines are all pre-cut. Just literally taking my time, getting them deep, getting where they need to be. Once I'm done with that, go over it, look at the light, see if any lines are deeper. And then start, once everything's where it needs to be, work on cutting the border. And this checkering job will be complete. This is about the best that I have been able to get in my checkering of this stock on this panel. What I'm going to do next is take this border cutter and run across this border slowly. I'm going to take out as much as you can on the overcuts. Make sure it looks real nice and pretty, but I don't know about making this any prettier than what it is. So, I already cut the borders. With that X-Acto knife, so just follow the edge all the way around. It makes a concave like cut. The diamonds I tried to perform were not hitting that point. The bordering is cutting really nicely. I can say there will be plenty of these little stocks to be bought and practice on. This is an artwork I do want to work on and learn more about. Final cut. For a first time checkering, I can't say that it's the worst. I don't know. I've not seen anybody else's. My other go at it was far worse. There are some crossing the lines in here. The lines don't seem to be too far off in depth. There will be more. I will be putting plenty of practice into it on these floor grips. It does actually have a little bit of a bite to it. Some of these are a little bit thinner, but That's my go at checkering a gun stock. Thank you and have a wonderful day.